Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, welcome. Let's all have a little bit of fun today. All right, so let's get into it a little bit. Where to start? Where to start? Where to start? Um, actually, I have no idea where to start. All right, so what did I even do yesterday? So I did say yesterday that we were going to reevaluate our Twitter ads. We went ahead and shut one off, and then Twitter in their went ahead and approved the ad that we were really waiting for, like the latest iteration of all the data, the super duper duper one. So we're leaving that. Hey Freda, I just want to see how it does. It is the best representation of our, excuse me, of hey Terry. It is the best representation of all the data that we've collected and applied. So as you know, every day with the Twitter ads, we went ahead and took a look at who clicked, why they clicked, then took that data, went ahead and focused more on those individuals, then changed the copy of the ad to speak more to them, then changed the copy of the landing page to go ahead and welcome them further, then change the copy of the checkout so that it's them that get it. That being said, it hasn't been all that successful. We've gotten the clicks, we've gotten the landing page. Hey, Deborah, they haven't been purchasing. So what we did was we did it one more time. In fact, we even changed a couple of pictures and a couple of things. And then that ad was just sitting there. We're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it hasn't been approved. And then this morning I got notice that it did get approved. So just when I was ready to pull the plug on Twitter ads, maybe they knew that, I don't know. So we're going to look at that for the next 2 days, and then we'll reevaluate what we do with Twitter ads. What I also said yesterday was that what we're getting the most engagement with is our tweets. So as you know, we coded our AI to sync into our Twitter that's triggered upon us liking something and integrated through Zapier. Long story short, if we like your tweet, a whole bunch of stuff happens in the background. In the background, it goes to our ChatGPT 4.0, which follows our rules. Our rules are, we want this person to like us, to follow us, so come up with something really cool to say. Now, of course, it's much more than that, right? But just layman's terms. I hate saying layman's terms. Someone just emailed me layman's terms, which is why I just said it. But to go ahead and make it a short, why can't I think today? Layman's terms, right? So then it goes ahead and goes back and tweets to them, in which case, hey, so us liking their tweet, it then tweets directly to them, cites their tweet by us acknowledging it, and then us offering some positive, insightful information that's flattering, but not too flattering. And the point is, we were trying to find the right recipe, in which case it's natural speak. You're flattering them, you're offering value to them, but you're not so transparently trying to self-promote or to hang on them. Hey, Rick. And stuff like that, which we hadn't done. Like we hadn't solved that. So in the first iteration, we thought to identify their tweet, create a challenge of it, then offer Rhino Bucks as a solution to the challenge we created. So if someone tweeted, hey, I like ham sandwiches, upon liking that tweet, the ChatGPT would say, hey, I know you like ham sandwiches, but I could tell you an even better sandwich than a ham sandwich, and that's, Rhino Bucks. And would go ahead and explain some reasons and then give the link, even put a picture. That was like wildly obnoxious to people. Because you got to remember, the people that are on Twitter that are these influencers or have these followers, a lot of people try to ride their coattails. So it's very common to them for someone to go ahead and tweet to be like, hey, yeah, we think of the same thing too. Check out our website, right? Because the belief is, all right, well, if so many people are following this person, and then we go ahead and put our website there, that's a free way that we could take their followers to click our links. In which case, those people don't like that. They start blocking you, they delete your messages, whatever. And that's the opposite of what we want people's experience with Rhino to be. So we changed it. We then altered, we upgraded it to, all right, let's just flatter them. So, hey, you like ham sandwiches? Ham sandwiches are the best sandwiches in the entire world. You're so smart. I can't believe you like ham sandwiches. You're the brilliant, right? But that's and it would be like 3 or 4 sentences of just this flattery. In terms, it's so much so that these sentences went on so long because the flattery was so extreme that it would write a tweet and then cut it off. And I'm like, well, that looks really ugly too. Like this isn't good. So then yesterday we decided to further upgrade it. And as we get closer and closer to it, we're starting to really kind of sync it or dial in. So I'm going to do a share screen just to show you because apparently I can't put words together today. And probably because I'm just really tired, but that's okay. I have Rhino blood. So let's go into our Zapier account, liked tweet, and I just want to show you what it looks like because I'm really, really quite pleased with what it's doing now. So just actually, you know what? Let's just walk through the process. So let's go ahead and yeah, I forgot how long Zapier takes every time you press any button. So let's go ahead and edit it so you could just kind of see the testing of it. Actually, I don't need to do that, and that's taking entirely too long. We'll do it in real time. But let me just show you the action. So now it is, you will craft a tweet in under 200 characters with no self-promotion that to the user will like. Your tweet cannot be more than 200 characters. Here are your rules. We're going to be supportive, show appreciation and agreement with this is their tweet, acknowledge the effort of the person they put in the work. Be respectful, treat the person with politeness and respect, show appreciation to that person's expertise, maintain a courteous and considerate tone throughout the reply. Engaging, exhibit genuine curiosity and interest in that person's content, thoughts, or opinions. Authentic, be genuine in your communication and avoid trying to inflate your own importance or exaggerate your knowledge, right? Like let's just be fans for a little bit. Helpful, offer informative suggestions, insights, or resources that they might find interesting. Be concise because they have a limit, so we put 200 characters here. Be friendly, use warm and amicable tone and convey a sense of understanding, empathy, or encouragement where it's relevant. Reciprocity, from a psychological standpoint, humans tend to reciprocate positive actions and generosity. Craft a tweet that provides value, such as sharing relevant information or offering support. Social connection, develop a sense of camaraderie or common ground. Can create an emotional bond. A tweet that demonstrates shared experiences, interests, beliefs, and then show genuine interest and engagement. Show that you are genuinely interested in there's the tweet, or this is the description that the person has on their Twitter, and align your tweet in a way that demonstrates mutual interest or goals, right? So I know that looks impressive. It took a long time to get to that, right? Like, look at that, V13. That was a 13th iteration of it. So when we go into our Twitter account, so we could just do it in real time. So let's go to home. And let's find someone that's saying something. Come on, Twitter. Maybe today, buddy. Okay, let's go to home. All right, so let's see someone with something we want to retweet to or respond to. Okay, this is, there remains a fundamental divide between those of us who remained conservative while rejecting Trump and those, okay. I don't really care what this says, to be honest. I'm just trying to show you. But it is a tweet that has substance, so we could see in real time what we're able to do. So we're going to like it. And I want to give it maybe a minute or two, and then we'll be able to show what our tweet was in response to it. So let's go ahead to our profile. So this is Dan McLaughlin. Now let's follow him. Why not? So we've also been doing a lot of following of blue check marks, and we're finding a lot of them are following us back, which again is building up our followership so that when we start promoting our stuff, people that are important are seeing it. All right, so Dan McLaughlin. All right, so it didn't tweet yet, so we have to wait a minute. Come on. So I'm taking a look at the history to see if it registered yet. Because you know what, I love Zapier, but it really is so slow. And the pace we move at during the day, this is, really, really harmful to my. See, it didn't even register yet. So what if we do? Come on. It's like a snail's pace. It's just terrible. And that's okay because it's automated. We don't look at this during the day, but in terms of trying to show you in real time, the pace is a little bit obnoxious. But it's okay. Let's see. Let's do a manual run, see if it finds it. Okay, see triggering on one new tweet. Close. All right, cool. Now that you found it, let's see if it's in the history yet. Okay, success. So we should be able to go back and see that we tweeted that individual. And again, this is automated, so it happens by itself. I'm just, again, trying to show you in real time. Let us see. Oh, so this is okay. So Dan McLaughlin's Twitter handle is Baseball Crank, I guess. Okay. So what do we write? Baseball Crank insightful analysis. Dan, it's crucial to address this divide and work towards a united vision for the Republican Party's future. Any thoughts on potential leaders who could bridge this gap? GOP futures, conservative values. And I really believe that this is quite a valuable, at least, tweet to this individual. Like, this individual wrote something that had a lot of content, it had a lot of thought, they're followed by a lot of people. And we're like, that's insightful analyst. And we say his name too. And then we go ahead and piggyback. It's crucial to address this divide and work towards a united vision for the Republican Party's future. And now we're asking him, hey, you put this out there. Do you have any thoughts on who could bridge that gap? And we tweeted relevant hashtags, right? So let me see. Oh, wait, hold on a sec. I want to stop the share. The point being, what we've tried to create is something that allows us to quickly go ahead and seek that engagement. So about, I want to say every 3 or 4 hours a day, I'll just go on Twitter and like 20 or 30 relevant things. And of those 20 or 30 things, we do get a lot of responses back. In fact, we've got 81 new followers and about 40 of them are blue checkmark individuals. And they're actually writing back to us now. And that's just because we improved the prompt to what you're seeing. So it almost is like that we have a complete Twitter department of people that are tweeting really, really fantastic stuff all day. But realistically, I'm just spending an hour, liking 1,000 things in any given day. So that's actually going really well for us. So like I was saying yesterday, in terms of Twitter ads, we're very open to it. Obviously, we're spending $30 a day on it. But in terms of what's giving us the biggest bang for our buck, it's what I just showed you, and that's free. It took a lot of work to get there, but what you're seeing now is free. Zapier costs us money, and we're probably going to have to upgrade the plan because we're almost at 2,000 zaps already. But again, the overhead of what you just saw is free. So that's our Twitter. As it pertains to Rhino bot, I did not talk to that department yet today, but I did message them earlier today saying, listen, I'm just totally swamped today. I'm just overly, overly, overly swamped. If they could just give me updates, and if they need to go ahead and test with me, I'll be there. Otherwise, let's push it back to tomorrow. Again, I feel okay about that. There's so much going on. Events is going well. I did speak to that department. We're still on for June 1st. Rhino Bucks will be at a new all-time high in liquidity once I go ahead and make the purchases that are now in the account after this call. We did add another 7 accounts, I think, yesterday. Yeah, so we're up to like 526, which again is another all-time high. And like I always say, all time is a long time, so things are going quite well. Oh yeah, so I was also thinking, so yesterday when I was sharing with you, I think we need to have a more aggressive stance. That makes sense to me. But in thinking further, well, you can be aggressive because you believe your aggression is supported, is justified. But if the individual you're speaking to doesn't agree or doesn't have the opportunity to know or even think the same, then your aggression is offsetting, right? So if, for instance, I'm talking to you, assertive, yeah. So if I'm speaking to you and I think you're doing something wrong, or I think you could be doing something better, and I simply say to you, hey, I can't believe you're doing that. You're so stupid. Why don't you do this? Well, you're not even thinking anymore that I'm a credible person. I'm just going at you. I'm being aggressive for no reason. But how can I go ahead and mobilize your thought process? How can I go ahead and activate you to agree with me? Well, I have to show you. I have to educate you on what you're doing and what I'm suggesting in a very clear way that you can see red and orange is better than red. Which means, and we've gone back to this 1,000 times, like Rhino Hub and all the rest, there has to be an education process assigned to all this stuff, which we have done. We have now 500, almost 30 accounts. Like, we're doing good, but we want to do better. And I remember when we went ahead and did that webinar, that was like the biggest flop of all time. And it wasn't that it was a flop because it was a bad idea. It was a flop because I decided that I was going to go ahead and put an AI in it and let that person speak and offer commentary, um, agree with them, and then say, "Have you done it?" Yeah. No. So Renee, I agree with you. Like, but in terms of that, you still have to educate them on why they should have thought that way or what's the value in thinking that way, right? So the webinar that we did, it wasn't a bad idea. It was just a flop because the way it was executed. In fact, when we went ahead and crafted the webinar, we did a whole case study on the entire Rhino process from day one. How many people are in it? What's the growth rate? What's the retention rates? What's the blah, 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 blah. And those numbers were really, really strong. But the presentation of it, the execution, was probably one of the poorest things I've ever done in my life. Point being, with all of these new emails that we're bringing on, and with the thought process that we want to go ahead and continue to be out there, we want to go ahead and grow Rhino. And that's obviously always a thought process. But I think I'm coming back to the webinar idea. And what I mean by that is, say, for instance, we had a campaign that's on a weekly basis. We offered something for free. Sign up for the webinar, and we will send one Rhino to every email address, right? So sign up for the webinar. We're going to email you immediately a confirmation of the webinar, give you the instructions to get a wallet address. Once you have the wallet address, we're going to send you a Rhino to it. So we're going to pay you $2.50 or $3 or whatever to sign up for the webinar. Okay, great. Well, now you have these people interested, but more so than that, when you take a look at our scan and see how many wallets own Rhino, that number now gets severely inflated, right? Like, now you have 1,000 people, 2,000, 3,000 wallets that own Rhino. And I'm not saying this to be unethical, but I am sharing the fact of what that would entail. Individuals that then would look at Rhino would have an overly optimistic view of us. And that's hard for me to say because I have the most optimistic view. But they would see it and say, wow, 3,000 different people own Rhino. This must be something special. Look at the community. When in reality, each person only owns one coin, which that individual could see. It's a ledger. They could go into it. But on first glance, they would feel quite warm quite quickly. That works for us. What am I going to do? Say, hey, listen, in case you think this, I don't want you to. I can't assume somebody's going to think that, but I think they would, right? The point of the story being that means each week the value proposition or the legitimacy of Rhino increases because more people own it. But the point I'm trying to get at is, if we have that webinar, say every Saturday or every Tuesday, 2 o'clock, whatever time webinars are good, I have no idea. I've learned a lot through doing prompt engineering, presenting prompt engineering, because every week I go ahead and put together a whole PowerPoint presentation. And our prompt engineering calls, believe it or not, are like 12 minutes. I think the last one was like 7 minutes. They're really, really quick because I have the presentation. I give you everything you need. It's already in the hub. I just perform it in front of you, take a couple of questions, and there we are. As it pertains to Rhino, I've always found it to be most easily able to be described in comparing it to Dogecoin. And what I mean by that is not in terms of actually even still a little bit in mission statement, because Dogecoin was a meme coin. It was a made up dog coin that had an infinite supply. But what it did was it united all of those individuals that were looking for, hey, we don't like the banking system, we want to take them down, blah blah blah. And that passion was so strong that these individuals just put all their money into it every single day, every single day, every single day, and the coin would go higher and higher. And it really started affecting stuff. But of course, the economics, the tokenomics of it were always going to overwhelm all the people because it was an infinite supply that was infinitely being produced every day. Of course, it was going to crash. But it does not offset that the passion of those that were in it were really, really like, let's do this. Um, and it took the world by storm. It got up to almost $100 billion in market cap, 88 billion. It was the highlight of Saturday Night Live, right? Like it was a big deal. If you did not own Dogecoin, you were spoken about how can you not? Should you get into it? I mean, there were things where if you owned Dogecoin 3 months prior, you were literally a billionaire, like a billionaire, right? So I do think we could not take advantage, but I think we can apply the recent memory of Dogecoin in terms of remember this? Yeah, this is why it it crashed. It didn't fail, it crashed. Um, Not only so do a bit of an autopsy on it, but again in a fun way, then show the relevant if it had done this, it would have done this. Let that bridge to Rhino. And then when you're able to go ahead and make the assertion, okay, yes, this was big. It failed because of this, or it crashed because of this. This solves it. With this solving it, this is the outcome. And then, go ahead and show, well, with this outcome, this happens, this happens, this happens. I do think you could go ahead and create A to B to C pathway from someone being completely uneducated on anything to making the self-determination, okay, I understand this. I know what to expect in this. I know why I'm in this. I know what my responsibility is in this. I know what my expectations are in this. I know how to have access to this. I know what I'm looking for. I know what my dream is. I know what the big picture is. Okay. If we're able to effectively do that in, say, like a half an hour presentation, and then I'm able to sit there and take questions, and maybe we do some type of promos in it and blah, 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 then I think the challenge is getting people to the webinar. That like once they're there, there'll be a natural conversion rate, right? So with what I'm saying, if this is successful, which I actually really believe this is kind of the path we need to go, because a lot of what we're doing does require some level of education and some level of access. Like there isn't anyone in Rhino that doesn't know Anthony. And that's not to say Anthony's so great, but it is a part of Rhino. So if you don't know Anthony, well, then what's left in Rhino, right? Like you would have to have a really high level of education in what your expectations are, calculations, forecasts, to offset the confidence in just understanding and appreciating who Anthony is, right? So I do think there's a lot of these things that could be solved on a webinar. And that webinar can then be edited afterwards and then sent out in replays with like a weekend campaign. Hey, you have 2 days left. Hey, you have last day. Hey, if you get in now. And I do think this process could actually be responsible for adding, say, 100, 200, 300 a week. But more so than that, we then need to build a follow-up sequence that has a better affiliate offer. And our affiliate offer is good. But if I were to ask you what's our affiliate offer, you would say, I don't know it. I don't know where to go for it. I don't even, do we have one? What link? Do we have my link changed? So there's things that still need to be fixed, right? But the affiliate offer would be the link for the individual signing up to the webinar, right? So there would be a lander page that would share a bit about it. And upon that individual signing up to the webinar, that would be the reward for the affiliate. They wouldn't need to actually buy the coin. They would just sign up and maybe the affiliate gets one. I have no idea. But I do think this process is something that then when we're talking about Twitter and all these other places where we're growing a followership, hey guys, sign up. This is a really good thing. Um, And it's funny because I could go back in time 3, 4, 5 years ago when I was working with Rick. This is what he did every weekend. So I'm sure there's people on the call that are like, duh, Ant, you're just figuring this out. And it's not that I didn't know this, right? Like I saw it done every weekend. It's a matter of finding your natural pathway to it. And I think, and again, whenever I ask anyone anything about Rhino, the words genuine and authentic are already always in it. So be that as it may, everything is finding the correct path to it that's natural. So that's kind of where we are. That's where mine's at. I think, and I say that because the email that's going out tonight is going to be quite introductory to many, many people, like I shared with you yesterday, because there's 10,000 new emails tonight. So I do want to have this idea fully, well, not fully formed, but I do think tonight's going to be an introduction to, hey, join our webinar. If you sign up for it, this is what you get. So that'll be 7:30 tonight, which means I'll probably complete it by 4 o'clock and schedule it because after 4 o'clock, I'm Rhino Daddy. Okay, so we have some comments. Robbie, I had a question yesterday. Why would I choose Rhino over all the coins out there? Would the Webby answer that question? Yeah. And just in real quick, what I found, and I put myself on the other side of this all the time, in me going through Twitter and following all these people, and I have all these people promoting coins, reaching out to me, hey, you want us to promote Rhino, blah, blah, blah. And I see all the new coins that are coming out. I know nothing about them. It's like, hey, this is the new coin. We're doing a drop, we're doing this, and even the credible ones I know nothing about. I just like if I were to ask you any coin, like what do you know about it? Do you want to get into this coin? Oh yeah. My friend said it's going up. Like that's all you ever really know about it. Or I'm getting into this coin. They're gonna do this new protocol, and it's gonna happen in 5 years. It's like okay, so what do? You just sit there for 5 years? Your you staying in the coin is dependent on what? Your own economics? Do you need the money? Is the coin going up? And since nobody knows anything about it, it's completely tied to the economy. If coins are going up, they all go up. If they're going down, they all go down. In a quick way, what I would say about Rhino is we're here together every single day. There is never a moment anyone in Rhino doesn't know what's going on. In fact, if you miss a day, there's stuff that you need to catch up on. And it's not that you need to in terms of, oh my God, I don't know what I'll do if I don't. But if anyone ever asks you what's going on with Rhino, you know CEO level information. Well, I know they're doing this. I can expect this by this date, this by this date. This is a little bit delayed. This one's happening. Actually, they're buying coin at, I don't know, 10:27. Actually, Anthony has a call with somebody from, I don't know what countries today, but I had France yesterday, Brazil the day before at 10:30. So they're really going to probably buy the coin at 11 o'clock. The ledger is updated, but because they didn't buy the coin yet, the liquidity pool isn't updated. Like everyone knows everything. So real quick, I would just say, why Rhino? There's comfort, I guess, right? So anyway, oh my God, 28 minutes, Anthony, shut. Silencio, por favor. All right, so that's that. So what is the affiliate link? Brian, so there's a bunch of affiliate links. Just log into your Kartra account and you'll see that you have them. I believe it's the bottom left. It says affiliate or says your screen name or something. But once I complete this webinar thing, this will have a new affiliate link, and I'm going to delete all the other affiliate links, and let's just have one affiliate link and make it look really, really nice. All right. Whew. So everything is going good. Like I always tried to say at some point during the call, Rhino liquidity pool is at an all-time high. So regardless of all the things we're doing, right now we are the most valuable we've ever been, and there's still so much to go. So your passion and transparency is off the chart. I love Rick. By the way, you know what? I'm going to say this. Hold on one second. Let me find it. Where is it? You know, we have our own, like, where is it? Hold on, bear with me. I'm trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. It's always weird when I'm looking at something and you're looking right at my face. It's like you're creepy. Okay, here we go, everyone. So for those that don't have our link to our YouTube, we post all the replays there. Two things. One, follow us, right? Like, duh. But more importantly, Rick comments on every single video. Like, and I remember one of the times that he commented, I said, thank you very much, because I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works, but I do know that if people are commenting, it's a little bit stronger, which means more people see our stuff organically. So if you would like to help, which I'm sure everyone does, you don't have to be a Rick Stanton and do it every single day. But if you could follow us and comment on a video here and there, like them, that would be helpful. All right, I got a 10:30 call. I love everyone, and tomorrow will be better than today, but not as good as Friday, right? Tomorrow's Thursday. Okay, love you. Bye.